Okay, now that we've created a brand new Excel workbook, this is the screen that we are presented with. And everything you see within this screen is called the Excel interface. Now there's multiple sections of the Excel interface. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you a little walkthrough of what each section does and what they consist of. The first section we're going to be talking about is called the Quick Access Toolbar, which is located at the very top left corner of your screen. Now what this toolbar consists of is frequently used commands. And by default, we have autosave, save, undo, redo, and touch and mouse mode. Touch and mouse mode is actually really useful if you're working in Excel like on a tablet, because since the screen is smaller and using your fingers, sometimes it's hard to click all these commands that are very condensed together. So if we activate the touch mode, you can see how the commands are a lot more spread apart and it's just a little cleaner style. Now since we're working on a PC, I'm going to go back to mouse mode. Next, we're going to be talking about the Excel ribbon, which is located at the top of your screen and extends all the way across. Now within this ribbon are many different tabs, some that you may not see, such as the Developer tab and the Power Pivot tab, because we haven't activated them yet, but we'll get there later in the course. And within the tabs are command groups, and they are separated by these little lines. So you have the clipboard group, font group, alignment group, and so on. And within these groups are the command buttons for that group. So in the font group, we have the bold command, italicized command, underline command, and so on. And if we click this little arrow in the bottom right, this opens up the dialog launcher, which has even more commands related to the font group. But since the ribbon only has so much space, Microsoft did a good job at organizing and placing the most frequently used commands within these groups. And now next, we're going to be talking about the formula bar, which is located between your ribbon and the cells of the worksheet. And this is where we're going to be entering formulas later in the course. And right to the left of it is called the name box, which shows the name of the active cell that you have selected. So right now it shows A1 because we've selected A1. Now if I select A2, now the name box shows A2. Now there's just one more quick tip I wanted to share with you, is that the ribbon can take up quite a bit of space. So if you double click on one of the tabs, it will minimize the ribbon. Alright, just a little bit more about the Excel interface. Down at the bottom right hand corner of your screen, this little area is called the status bar. And within the status bar, we can select different views. So right now we are currently in the normal view, or we can select page layout view or the page break view. Now these views can also be accessed underneath the view tab, and we can go back to our normal view. Also down here we have a little zoom bar that we can zoom in and zoom out of our spreadsheet. And lastly, the status bar displays various information about our Excel spreadsheet. For example, let's say we want to put in some numbers here in the cells. So we're going to put in 15, 10, 5, and 30. Okay? Well, if we select these cells and come down here, our status bar automatically calculates the average, which is 15, and we've selected 4 cells, so it counts the number of cells we've selected, and it sums the cells that we selected. So adding all those together is 60. We can also customize the status bar to show even more info by right-clicking, and let's say we want to put the minimum and maximum down on our status bar. So now, within our selected cells, it also calculates the minimum, which is 5, and the maximum, which is 30. In this video, I'm going to be explaining some of the key differences between an Excel workbook and an Excel worksheet. A workbook consists of multiple worksheets. So right now at the very top, we are in book 1. This is our Excel workbook. Now down here at the bottom, there's only one sheet. Later in the course, we'll discuss how to add sheets a little bit more in detail. But for now, just really quickly, I'm going to add a few more sheets by clicking this plus sign. Now I have 3 sheets that live inside this one workbook. The Excel worksheet is consisted of rows and columns. So we have the row numbers here on our left, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down, and the columns, A, B, C, D, and all the way to the right. To get to the very bottom row, we are going to use a shortcut key, which is Control down arrow. And if you're on the Mac, I believe it's Command down arrow. And throughout the course, I'll try my best to, anytime we use a shortcut key, I will also provide the Mac version as well. But right now I'm on Windows, so I'm going to press Control down arrow. And as you can tell, there are 1,048,576 rows. And now to get back to the very top, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to press Control up arrow. And if you're on Mac, it's Command up arrow. To get to the very last column, all the way to the right, we're going to be using kind of the same shortcut, which is Control right arrow. Now I know there's not a number, but XFD is equivalent to 16,384 columns. So if we do the math, that means there are over 17 billion cells in a single worksheet, which is kind of crazy. As for how many worksheets you can have in a single workbook, there is no limit. It's all based on how much memory your computer can handle. Now, earlier versions of Excel, there was a limit of only 255 worksheets. So I would strongly recommend staying beneath that, because the more worksheets you have in a workbook, the slower the application will run.